Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj-Alter and today we're setting up a big game in the IPL which is between Kolkata Knight Riders and Rajasthan Royals. Two teams that are stuck on 10 points right in the middle of that points table, stuck in that logjam, and whoever wins tonight will jump to the number 3 position on the points table. Rajasthan Royals lost a game that they should have won against Sunrisers Hyderabad. It was a crushing loss really for them. Whereas Kolkata Knight Riders, Rinku Singh, he's made it a habit to finish matches for his team. Kolkata Knight Riders beat Punjab Kings in a last ball thriller, but it was the spinners from Kolkata Knight Riders who set up that game for the team. Tonight, the task has been cut out for Rajasthan Royals. They need to recover. Remember, this was the team that was right at the top of the points table in the first half of this league stage, but then they've lost 5 out of their last 6 matches. And the last match that they lost, that loss on the last ball, which turned out to be a no ball, that would have been a crushing loss. Like I said, and of course, they'd want to get back to the winning ways. I have our guest on the show, Jamie Alter, joins me here. Kushan Sarkar will also join us later on the show. But let's begin with Jamie. Jamie, this is really about the battle of spinners here, and it'll come down to who plays spin better tonight.
Absolutely, and I hope Rajasthan get their bearings together and they'll play Adam Zampa, because I think he's barely played a handful of matches, but he's taken wickets in every one. And one of them, I think his second match was it? I think he was man of the match. So on that track, yes, bigger boundaries, high scoring ground, but there is some purchase for the spinners. We've seen how well Varun Chakravarti has done, and given the fact that even Andre Russell often gets out to leg spinners, if I'm Rajasthan's think tank, I'm trying to do my best to bring in Adam Zampa. Let's see how they use the impact player, because I think of all the teams along with Hyderabad, they've really struggled to figure out what best way to use that impact player.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also their death bowling, Jamie, Rajasthan Royals, that has let them down. Because, I mean, out of the last 3 matches, 2 matches they've scored 200 and plus, 210, 214, and they've not been able to defend that total. If you're going to give the ball to Jason Holder in the 20th, when Tim David is in front of you, then that just means that you're going to be hit all over the park. Similarly, in the last game as well, Sandeep Sharma, though, again, the question is whether that 19th over should have been given to Obed McCoy. Did they have to go to, Kuldeep? So there are questions around how they have, the captaincy has been questionable and who's the one who's making these decisions. I also remember one of the matches with Rajasthan Royals where Jason Holder didn't come up to bat. I mean, I think they sent everybody, and we both were having this conversation whether Jason Holder is playing as a bowler and not as an all-rounder. So there have been problems in this Rajasthan team, especially in the last 4 to 5 matches that we've seen.
I think it's even before the last 4 or 5 matches. It was one of the earlier matches when Ashwin came out to bat as an opener, and then he came out to bat at number 5. What is strange for me is that there's been no change, in personnel or tactics since last year. And last year, Rajasthan looked so good, alongside Gujarat Titans. They looked like the team which could actually lift the trophy. And they did, in fact, get to the final. They've not had to make any changes. So how is it that with that same 11, the same, more or less the same reserve players, how has this team gone and, managed to slump, Was it 5 of the last 6 you mentioned they've lost, right? So, but when you're losing matches without chopping and changing, that's what makes it stranger. Delhi losing 5 matches in a row and not playing the same 11, that makes sense. But Rajasthan are pretty much stuck to the core players, Yes, Riyan Parag has come here and there. Jason Holder's been in and out. But be it giving Jason Holder the ball at the death, be it not holding Jason Holder back, strange choices. And unfortunately, I have to point the finger at Sanju Samson, a player who often seems like, he got that look like, oh, I'm very cool, I don't show emotion. That works very well when the team is doing well, like in the Dhoni's case. When the team is not doing well, you wonder, what is that boy thinking, Is he absolutely clued in here? And I think it affects his batting. He often comes out first ball. Rashid Khan could be on a hat trick, but Samson will hit him straight over his head for 6. Not being able to get big scores and then making some really strange decisions. I just feel that Sanju Samson's maybe he's taken too much pressure on himself. Maybe I don't know the pressure of trying to get to the final again. But
Yeah.
something is not right with the way that Rajasthan Royals have been going about making their selections.
That's right, because on paper, Kushan's here with us. Kushan, on paper, this team looks the most balanced. We've been saying it from the beginning of the IPL. They've got their bowling covered. Their openers are in the form of their lives. On paper, this team looks like a good team, and yet they find themselves, despite leading the points table for a while, in this situation where they need to win all of their games from here on if they want to qualify for the playoffs.
I think it has a lot to do with its pace bowling attack, which hasn't been consistent enough. If you look at Yuzi Chahal and Ravichandran Ashwin, they have done their jobs, 13 wickets each. So they have basically, between them, they have shouldered the responsibility, shared the responsibility between them. But when it comes to pace bowlers, if you see, they have been the ones who have leaked
Yeah.
runs. And I think Jason Holder, as an all-rounder, hasn't worked because I don't think he has the wherewithal to actually consistently be that bowler in T20 cricket who will nail those Yorkers or bowl those slower variations. He doesn't have, he's the kind of a length bowler who will try, and at his pace, he bowls the most hittable lengths. So
Yeah.
that is also an issue. Batting is not an issue because you have Butler, you have Yashasvi, you have seen spark from Dhruv Jurel also. So there has been performances, but when it comes to the pace bowling attack, and that is why they have not been able to defend big totals also, and
Absolutely.
it's been an issue. But today, if you ask me, Neha, I still feel Royals will have an advantage at the Eden Gardens.
And why do you say that, Kushan? Is it because of how actually this team has the similar kind of bowling lineup, or how I should put it is that they depend hugely on their spinners, and their spinners have been doing well. It's going to be a slow track. The last time, and I think they're using the same pitch as the last game that Kolkata Knight Riders played at the Eden Gardens, which was a slow track. I think they bowled 13 overs of spin, 5 wickets went to the spinners. So you basically have a team that is against an opposition which has world-class spinners as well. Is that the advantage you're talking about with Rajasthan Royals? Kushan?
No, obviously that is one part of it, but the second part of it is in these tracks, Eden Gardens, the power play you can accelerate at a better pace because of its outfield also. That is also there. So Butler and Yashasvi Jaiswal at Eden Gardens could prove to be a handful, much better than what you expect the KKR openers to do. I believe Butler and Jaiswal have a better chance of batting on that surface and excelling also. And that is one of the bigger reasons. And obviously, on a pitch where there is a bit of grip available, I think Ashwin and Chahal, they can vary that pace. They can slow the pace down of the game, and probably be a bit more handful. As a third spinner is a bit of a problem for Royal. Like Sunil Narine, like we spoke a lot about Sunil Narine during the last KKR game, and Sunil Narine is doing well, fairly well, because he didn't get a wicket, but 4 overs for 29 runs. He did
Yeah.
a good supporting job along with Varun Chakravarti, and Varun and Suyash and Sunil Narine, if they're bowling 12 overs, and if Nitish Rana bowls a couple of overs of his off spin, that takes care of 14 overs. So that's also not a bad thing, but I believe Rajasthan can tackle that KKR attack. Can.
Okay. Okay, so it's advantage Rajasthan Royals for Kushan, especially in the way their batters have been batting in the power play, and he thinks that at the Eden Gardens that is going to make a difference. But the third spinner for Rajasthan Royals, Jamie, Murugan Ashwin or Adam Zampa, also who's their fourth foreigner? Should they even try to get someone like Joe Root in, or should they stick with Adam Zampa? There's Obed McCoy, Jason Holder. Who should be their fourth foreigner?
I would go for Adam Zampa, just to pick up from what Kushan was saying. On that track, you're going to get purchased. And Zampa, like I was saying before, he's been hardly given any matches, but he's taken wickets every single time. One match, he got 3 wickets. He was man of the match. So when you have that kind of a surplus player who can rock up anytime and take wickets, and I think because it's Eden Gardens and I think it's track number 4 they're playing on, it's a very much a horses for courses situation, right? Kushan just mentioned that despite the lack of wickets, Sunil Narayan now and then does that holding job, right? To my mind, Adam Zampa is not going to do a holding job. He's going to come out there and take wickets, right? So when you have Ashwin and Chahal, 13 wickets, like Kushan said, I would do anything. If that even means leaving out Trent Bolt, I think they'll probably play both. I would play Zampa because KKR, like Kushan said, they're going to give you 12 overs of not just spin, but 12 overs of very different spin. Varun, Sunil Narayan, and Suyash. Suyash is bowling 3 different deliveries every over. So to counter those 12 overs of spin, I think they have to play Zampa. To my mind, there's no other option. No disregard to Murugan Ashwin, but it's
Sure.
Adam Zampa you're talking about. The guy's a wicket taker.
Yeah, but when you talk about momentum in cricket, it's Kolkata Knight Riders who have it, Kushan. How much of an impact will that have? The fact that they've bounced back, everything seems to be clicking for them. They found out their opening combination. For the longest time, they couldn't figure out who should open. Now, they figured that out. People are scoring runs in that team. The spinners are doing the job. So in that sense, this is the most settled that Kolkata Knight Riders have been this whole season.
Oh yes, like at times when there is a fear of unknown, and when you do not have sure shot people, like you do not know your first 11, like you need to mix and match and see what's working and what's not working. And once you see that what is not working, and you go by the trial and error and elimination process, and finally that elimination process, I believe, is complete for KKR, and they are getting into that groove. But again, in T20, the margin of error is so little that one good match doesn't guarantee you. Yes, it does guarantee confidence. It does guarantee a kind of you have a spring in your stride when you are not losing. But at the same time, against Rajasthan, both teams will be desperate. The measure of desperation will be equal for both teams. So in that respect, in that regard,
Yeah.
it will be for me it will be 50-50 match, or maybe 51-49 at max, because I still feel Rajasthan are favorites. But yes, Eden Gardens, a full capacity 67,000 crowd, you cannot just ignore that.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think, this huge dependence on their openers as well, especially with Shimron Hetmeyer not being able to provide that late flourish. In the last 5 matches or 6 matches, he scored, 7, 7, 8, 8, 3. He scored 25 odd runs, Jamie. That is a problem for Rajasthan Royals if they want to go all the way, they want to make it to the playoffs. You cannot just be dependent on your openers to give you that start, because we've seen with Rajasthan Royals, as soon as Yashasvi Jaiswal or Joss Butler get out cheaply in the power play, it's almost like it's game over for Rajasthan Royals.
It's a very strange conundrum that this team finds itself in, because obviously we know we're talking about Rajasthan Royals. Majority of the runs will come from the top 3. It's Jaiswal, it's Butler, it's Samson. But the way that Shimron Hetmeyer has just gone AWOL, this was the same Shimron Hetmeyer, that fantastic match against Gujarat. He got 52 not out of 26 balls, strike rate of 200. Yes, it was Sanju Samson who got the ball rolling after a pretty poor start. But the guy who I was saying, is rivaling David Miller and Tim David for his finishing skills a month ago. Now, like you just said, last 5 matches, he's barely got a run. And I think the last match before this, we were talking about him, and he had 5 single-digit scores in 5 innings.
Yeah.
So and it's very strange because it's a long tournament. There's travel, there's late nights, there's different pitches. So you do budget for that bit of a slump. But in Shimron Hetmeyer's case, I think it's more than a slump. This is almost Prithvi Shaw level of, just absence of runs.
Yeah.
And what that's done is, it's obviously, Dhruv Jorel is a fantastic find. I hope that he keeps on doing well. But it puts pressure on him. It puts pressure on Riyan Parag. Look at Riyan Parag. Riyan Parag was one of their players who was in the starting 11. Now he's become that impact player. And then, you just have to feel sorry for Devdutt Padikkal. He has that breakout season for RCB. He's an opener. Then he joins the new team and they're like, 4 pe batting karega, 5 pe batting karega. I understand Jaiswal and Butler are pedigree openers, but find a way to get that guy higher. It's no surprise that he's struggling. He's not meant to bat at 4 or 5, There was
He's
that
striking
dismissal
at 120, I think,
two
this
games
match.
2 games ago. There was that ball. I think even Kumar Sangakkara even mentioned it without taking names. He said when you defend in T20, you got to get in line. Padikkal was so out of it. This is that match when they barely got to 118. The gap was this big. It's Rashid Khan, right? And that to me said, man, I really feel bad for this guy. He's clearly struggling for
Yeah.
runs. But having him come out at number 4, bana banaya opener hai yaar wo. So maybe you can say problem of plenty, but for me it's a problem of just not
Yeah, too
knowing
many openers.
fixed roles. Not just that, it's just fixed roles. We
Yeah.
talked about this, all three of us. The
Yeah.
teams that end up doing well, that clarity कि भाई ये यहाँ खेलेगा, इसका role ये है. You
Which
have
is
an
what
opener batting at 4 or 5. Very
Which is
strange. या तो उसको मत खिलाओ
absolutely.
फिर.
You know, who tweeted this yesterday? I think it was Akash Chopra. Somebody tweeted this on yesterday on CSK, Kushan. The role, how each and every player has a specific role. Their batting order is not shuffled. And that's the reason why players are so confident and are so comfortable in what they are meant to do, because they know exactly what they need to go out there and do. And that is a trademark of a good team. Is that something that a lot of these IPL teams, especially the ones who don't make it to the playoffs, the ones who are not consistent, they are facing this problem where they can't quite figure out where to put these players in. They want to play them, but don't know where to put them in, how to get the balance right.
Historically, the teams that have done well have been consistent in their selection, whether it's a 5-time champion MI when they were 5-time champions, or whether it's Chennai Super Kings for all these years. They do not deviate from their basic game plan. And even KKR during Gautam Gambhir's era in 2012, 13, 14, they wouldn't basically deviate from their basic game plan. That is what is basically happening with these teams, number one. Number two, when you are spoiled for choice, at times, Neha, having too many options is also
a problem. Yes.
You have a cluttered mind because you do not know. You'll choose A, you'll choose B, or you'll choose C. If you have only limited options, you know what you have to make do with it. If you have too many options, there is always a chance of you're always weighing whom to play, and at times you are going for the star and not looking at the conditions and playing a player who is actually would be able to adapt to that condition. So that is what happens when you have too many options. Too many options can make your mind clutter.
Yeah. On top of that, if you have too many options off the field in the think tank, that's also a problem, like we've been seeing with Delhi Capitals. Of course, we'll get Kushan to talk about that on another day when Delhi Capitals are playing. They lost yesterday's match, and CSK once again showing how good a team it is. Okay, let's also talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal and the brilliant form that he's in. Jamie, I was watching this interview, which I forced you to watch last night, of Yashasvi Jaiswal with Suresh Raina and Robin Uthappa. And I remember interviewing Kushan. I remember interviewing Yashasvi Jaiswal in 2021. He was shy, one line answers, it was difficult to get anything out of him. And then I saw that interview yesterday. And he's just become a different person in terms of how confident he is as a person, and how confident he is on the field. And that's showing now. I felt like in the IPL setup, forget the domestic setup, but in the IPL, in that setup, somewhere he just couldn't find his place. He just couldn't figure out where he should be, and now I see this complete change in him. Of course, getting runs and batting like that so beautifully, that helps in the confidence. There was a wonderful interview to watch where he talked of how he doesn't listen to any Hindi songs. He only listens to English gaane, and then he said, I like My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, Titanic, and they all laughed. It was a sweet little moment, Jamie. But this is, we're looking at India's future opener in all three formats, and it's wonderful to see the kind of shots he has in his repertoire, the kind of batter that he is already.
Absolutely, and he's got the runs, he's got the big runs in list A cricket. He's got it in first class cricket. He often starts, or just before an IPL season, he gets a couple double hundreds. So he's ticked all those boxes. Now what he's showing with this consistency, this match awareness, and match awareness, I mean, okay, Josh Butler's had a bad day. Sanju Samson's, not in the best of form. Beyond Sanju Samson, who knows who's going to come. So that match awareness was very visible in that fantastic 100 he got.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just like Venkatesh Iyer's 100 at the Wankhede, that also came on a losing cause. But what you're seeing is Yashasvi Jaiswal in his early 20s understanding how best to go into a match, how to conserve my wickets, and no surprises that he's got what 500 or he's nearing 500 runs. So now you mentioned the fact that he's a prospect for all three formats. He's got the first class pedigree. He's got the one-day pedigree. Now with an IPL season like this,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should rush him in. I think he still needs maybe
Absolutely.
a year or so. But we have a T20 World Cup coming up in June, July of next year. Maybe if he follows up with another good domestic season, and we all know, okay, next year's T20 World Cup will largely be based on how next year's IPL goes. This IPL is more about can anyone break into the World Cup plans, the one day World Cup plans. If Jaiswal has another 450, 500 run IPL this time next year, then you can say maybe he's going to partner Shubman Gill or Gaikwad. Who
Yeah.
knows? Because that reset button is going to have to be pressed when it comes to India's T20 cricket at the start of
No,
2024.
absolutely. And there's always this recency bias we've seen even in selection, in people's memories. You know, every time there's a selection committee meeting and there's a decision, we all keep wondering, why is it that this particular person wasn't considered? Because that happened a while ago. But okay, let's also talk about Kolkata Knight Riders batting, specifically some of the players who've been doing well for them. Kushan, Nitish Rana, and his importance of how he bats today, because he is one of those batters who's good against the spinners. How he bats tonight will be really important for Kolkata Knight Riders.
Oh yes, definitely. And with Nitish Rana, I must tell you that Nitish Rana had a horrible, horrible domestic season. Not the white ball, the red ball season, where he got dropped in the middle. He was a Delhi captain a season back, and he was dropped from the team this season during the Ranji Trophy. And then he made a comeback in the last match that Delhi played, and he did have a very torrid time. He had his issues in the state team, and from there to be named captain because of Shreyas injury,
Yeah.
and also captaining the side and also batting well. Because at the end of the day, I'll tell you something: if MS Dhoni doesn't score for 10 games, no one will bother. MS Dhoni has been there, done that. He has nothing to prove. His staying there is a bonus. Virat Kohli, if he is the captain, has nothing more to prove. You can criticize him, you can eulogize him, but there's nothing to prove. But for a young captain like Nitish Rana, who is an uncapped, no, he has played one, I
He's
think two matches for India. So he's a capped player, but in the sense that who's primarily a domestic player, and he's leading a team of internationals. And you also have a high-end trade like a Shardul Thakur in that setup. If you're not performing, then you're not earning the respect. For people who are not as heralded as the stars, if they do not perform, it happens in every sphere. An
true.
unknown entity, if is put in a position of power or a responsibility, the others who will be there, the seniors around the group in every sphere of life, they will judge him. That if he's going to lead us, then he should better lead us by example. And that is where Meha Nitish Rana has aced all expectations.
Absolutely. Though I wonder, in a setup like, first let's just put this out before I get to the next question. I have to put this question out to all our viewers. Who do you think will win tonight? Does Kolkata Knight Riders have the advantage of playing at home? If can Rajasthan Royals bounce back from the losses that they've seen in the recent past? Let us know what your thoughts are. I'm getting some comments, and there's a comment on how the team that will chase tonight will win. So after the toss is when we'll get our answers. If you look at that, Jamie, Rajasthan Royals have had problems chasing this season. I think they won 1 out of 4 games that they've chased. So they'll be on the back foot. I wonder what Sanju Samson will think. There is no dew, as I was reading, so that's not going to have an impact. But what should the team tonight do after they win the toss?
Look, I know the last match they put up 217 for two, and then they lost that match. But let's not assume that they're going to give, 41 runs in 12 balls. I don't think that's going to happen again. Though, of course, I mean, Rinku Singh and Andre Russell are proving a fantastic pair. I would just, if I'm Rajasthan, for the reasons that Kushan started out by saying, I would not want to be chasing when I know there's 12 overs from Varun Chakravarti, Sunil Narayan, and what's his name? I'm
Suyash.
blanked out now.
Suyash.
Surya
Yes,
Sharma.
yeah.
Surya Sharma. Surya Sharma. Yeah, Surya Sharma. Sorry. I knew Sharma. So I would not want to face 12 overs from them. Because, like I said, they're three very, very kinds of bowlers. Yes, big targets have been chased there and you can put up targets. But I just go back to that gut feeling. If you're in a must win situation, just bat first. You did it the last match. You got 217 for two. Joss Butler finally, after what, 5-6 weeks,
Yeah.
showed what he can do. Maybe you hope that that Sanju Samson gets a bigger score. Maybe Riyan Parag clicks. Maybe Devdutt Padikkal picks. Both teams, whoever loses this match can only get to 14 points, right?
Yeah.
So both teams are in that situation. कि अब हम यहाँ से एक भी match नहीं हार सकते statistically. So just bat first and hope that your batsmen come to the party and hope that you don't have another of those brain fades at the death.
How difficult will it be for Rajasthan Royals to recover from this, Kushan? I mean, that last match, that was a soul-crushing loss, really. I can't imagine the one match in which that Jamie was talking about, that we've been discussing. Yashasvi Jaiswal goes on to score this brilliant 100. They end up losing that game. Similarly, Joss Butler, finally gets back among the runs. And then that last over, not being able to figure out the 19th over, who should have bowled that. I mean, it'll take something out of Rajasthan Royals to be able to do it at the Eden Gardens with that kind of crowd.
A lot will depend on how well Sanju Samson captains the side. Like, if you ask me, I'm a very big fan of Sanju Samson, the player, despite the fact that this season also he has been frustrating his legion of fans with some of the shots that have been difficult to defend. But Sanju Samson, the skipper, I have not actually warmed up to him, because some of the decisions I have found it pretty baffling. But again, we don't know what goes on in the dugout. Like, who is taking the decision? Is Sanju taking the decisions, or it is Kumar Sangakkara and Juvin Barucha? In fact, we also had a chat last time that who is taking the decisions. I do not know. Like, I cannot point my finger and say that I know for sure that Sanju is the man in charge. Or if Sanju is the man in charge, then some of the decisions are not exactly impressive. But if Sanju is not in charge, maybe then Kumar Sangakkara will have some explanation to give.
Okay. Another comment that we've got, which is Colors of You saying we shouldn't forget Nitish has carried the team on his back with his bowling and batting as well, and moreover he's given all his effort in the field. Well said. That's the other thing. We're talking about who actually is making decisions, especially in franchises where the captain's not a very established captain at the international level. You already spoke about Sanju Samson. You also spoke about how it's important for Nitish Rana in how he's scoring runs so that he earns respect from his fellow teammates. But then that's the other question. In someone like Chandu Pandit, are we seeing him being the brains behind what's going on with Kolkata Knight Riders in terms of their batting order, Jamie, or their bowling? Because you do see that, like one of the matches, I was just saying this, how to use Anukul Roy at times, when you're trying to cut down on the runs. We saw that in how he's using him. Also Nitish Rana. So is Chandrakant Pandit behind this? Do you think that's what's happening with Kolkata Knight Riders? It's the coach's brains behind what is going on?
I'm assuming to a large extent, yes, because he does have that pedigree at the domestic level. He doesn't have it at the IPL level. But again, I mean, yes, Nitish Rana is not a youngster. He's 29. He's been playing a lot of cricket, plays his cricket in Delhi. He's been with this franchise for 6 years now, right? So he's still a senior established player. I think at the start, when Kolkata looked such a frustrated and sort of a beleaguered side, then the questions were raised. And like I said, you have Nitish Rana, who for so many years has done a fantastic job at number 3, you're having him bat at number 5. They were swapping the openers. Venkatesh Iyer, again, he made his name as an opener, but then you're using him at 3, an impact player. So there were some decisions where, like when the team is doing bad, you say, oh, Chandrakant Pandit is not getting it right. Now when things are going right, it is easy to assume that. But I think the setup, they've also not gone through a massive restructuring, when it comes to the coaching. And in Nitish Rana, they have someone, yes, the captaincy at the IPL level might be at a very basic stage, but he brings a seniority, certain flavor. I have been very impressed with his captaincy because he makes the right calls. He stays cool. When the ball goes to his direction, he takes catches. Even post match, the kind of, you often pick up things on how people talk, right? One of the matches, 2 matches ago, I think they asked him, and he's like, "Yaar, जब हालत बुरा है तो ऐसा करना पड़ेगा ना." So it's more like he's not trying to make up something that he's not. Right? He said, "यार team की हालत खराब थी." So he's very honest in his assessments. Now, I'm the farthest person from that dressing room, but I assume that candidness, exactly like Prashant said, that respect which he needed to command has now come obviously through wins, but through bowling, taking wickets at the Kotla, taking wickets. He bowled that 1 over, 7 runs, job done, right? When you start to lead, the team itself will start to respect you. So probably, I'm guessing it's, if you want numbers, maybe 60% Chandrakant Pandit. I think the rest of the 40%, a major chunk of that would be Nitish Rana giving his inputs as well.
Do you agree though, Kushan, knowing how Chandrakant Pandit works in domestic cricket as a coach?
Yes, Chandrakant Pandit, but I think in IPL it's a different unit. So things work very differently because where Chandrakant Pandit goes in domestic cricket, for the teams that he worked, it's not the star-based, high-profile state sides.
True.
Where the state association, the secretary, the president tells Chandu sir that we give you full freedom. If you want to slap some of the juniors, even you can slap them, and because that's how you bring errant students in line. They fall in line. But when you are dealing with an IPL team full of stars, that is not there. You don't teach them how to play cricket. They are there because they have done the hard yards. They have been international stars. They have been doing it for other leagues, and that's why they are all there. They have been paid a price for that. But having said that, not only Chandrakant Pandit, we are forgetting another name, that is Abhishek Nair, who is probably one of the. He's a part of that engine room of that KKR strain, and he has been there long enough. He's a big influence on how KKR team combinations and strategically how they are placed. And also there is their data analyst Srikanth. You'll see a bearded guy sitting with a laptop, Srikanth. He's considered to be one of the finest cricket data analyst in our country right now, and a fine talent scout. Along with that, he's very respected in the cricketing circle and spoken. I have not spoken to him in person, but I've seen cricketers, I've seen coaches, and across the cricketing ecosystem of India, he's considered to be a guy who knows what he's doing, and he is a very key component when it comes to their strategic meetings, how they discuss the matchups, and how they discuss conditions players. He plays a lot of big role, I've heard. That this is all hearsay, but from people who have been in and around the franchise.
Okay, we've got more comments coming in. There is GameSpot saying, yes, agreed, Sanju's captaincy is vulnerable this season. Also, that Anukul Roy should play instead of Shardul Thakur today. Guys, what do you think of that? Validating the pitch report. It's a spinner's game today. Suyash Sharma looks like he's missing his grip on the ball, not being able to crack the pot. Is that something they'll want to do? Jamie, you want to take this one? Anukul Roy in place of Shardul Thakur?
It's interesting because, we just go back, we were being very critical of how Rajasthan Royals haven't been able to give certain rules. I think that also applies to Shardul Thakur. How many games has he not bowled? Several, which is surprising. He's playing as an all-rounder, right?
Yeah.
He had that outstanding once-in-a-lifetime innings, 60-something he got, and then Rinku Singh had that once-in-a-lifetime innings. But beyond that, what is Shardul Thakur's role? I think that is one maybe flaw, if I can use that word. They tried him at number 3. I mean, this is like sending Javagal Srinath in 1996 to number 3 because he worked once, right? It's not going to happen. So I don't know whether, I mean, yes, he wasn't fully fit for some time, missed some matches, but if the pitch is going to turn, I think that's the second argument. The main thing is when is he bowled his full quota? I think one match he came on to bowl 2 balls because Russell hobbled off, right? So when you're not using Shardul Thakur in his primary core, that is as a bowler, you may as well go to Anukul Roy. Now, Anukul Roy is not a bowler who's going to bowl 4 overs, right? He's been, we remember him mainly in the IPL circle as, Mumbai's perennial 12th man. Wherever he ran, the guy would take some stunning catches. Now, what Kolkata has done is, unlike other franchises, they've at least given him some role. I think he batted at number 3 in the first match. But the fact that he's giving the ball, and he's taking wickets, I would easily just put Shardul Thakur aside on the basis that his batting is a lottery. He's not even bowling on that pitch. You have 3 bowlers. Yes, Suyash Sharma may have lost his grip, but overall, what he offers, he's still, he's actually, to me, is more of a mystery spinner than Varun Chakravarti. I think we can ditch that word mystery. Halanki, the guy is doing very well, but the word mystery does not apply to my mind either to Sunil Narayan or Varun Chakravarti. Where it applies is to Suyash Sharma because no one knew who he was. He came into his, we've heard Nitish Rana say, "Yaar, main to Delhi wala hu." I'd never heard his name, right? So pick him. Anukul Roy is going to give you everything in the field, but he's not going to bowl his full quota. Maximum, he's going to bowl his 2 overs. If Kolkata's think tank believes that on this track, 2 overs from him, 1 from Nitish Rana are going to give you dividends, then by all means, go ahead and play him.
Kushan, do you agree?
Oh yes, 100%. And the way Jamie beautifully explained the mystery part. Mystery part is when you do not know, it's an unknown entity. This mystery spinner thing, Meha, I have never understood. There are only 3 ways that the ball can go. Either it can go away from the batsman, it can come in, or it can come straight. These are the only 3 variations you can have. So where's the mystery? And the good players, they would always look at your hands. They would pick you up from the hand. Ask Sachin Tendulkar, ask Saurav Ganguly, ask VVS Lakshman, ask Rahul Dravid, ask Brian Lara, Kumar Sangakkara, master player of spin. They would all pick it up from the hand of the bowler. So mystery is only when you do not know. The fear of unknown is a mystery. Other than that, there cannot be any mystery.
Why is Varun Chakravarti unplayable, or at least why
Varun
batters are
Chakravarti,
unable
yeah,
to?
I can come. Yeah, I'll come to that. Like why? This is because Varun Chakravarti last year lost a bit of pace. He was trying to bowl slow. Anil Kumble has given a very good explanation as to why Varun Chakravarti is again looking lethal this year. Varun Chakravarti is only lethal when he bowls at a certain pace, which is above normal for any other spinner. That is where, when he gets most purchase of the wicket, he hurries batsmen. Whether the ball is coming straight, whether he's bowling the carom ball, he bowls at a certain pace. The pace had dipped, maybe because of injuries and rehab and everything. The pace had significantly dipped last year, and that is why he paid the price for that. This year, again, he has got back that pace. He's bowling at an above average speed. The speed has increased, and that is exactly what is helping him reap the dividends. He has got 16 wickets now, and I believe that is the reason. Like what I've given you, I've borrowed the explanation from the best, that is Anil Kumble's explanation. He had explained it on air, and that is what I feel.
Okay.
I borrowed his explanation. This is not my explanation. I'm not a technical person. I am just another cricket watcher. I'm a journalist. But if Anil Kumble is saying that, we need to actually close our eyes and say that yes, that is what is happening.
That is exactly what it is. Okay, who will, out of these 2 teams, and if they will, make it to the playoffs? Which team will it be? Can they both make it to the playoffs, gentlemen? Will it be one team, Rajasthan Royals, Kolkata Knight Riders? Your thoughts? Jamie, you want to start with this discussion?
I mean, Rajasthan are slightly better placed, but when you lose, 5 of your last 6, and now KKR have got that winning momentum. Finally, Russell is starting to look like half the Russell he is. He's getting some runs. Rinku Singh is doing very, very well. Nitish Rana has now become consistent. It's a tough one, somehow logically you expect Rajasthan Royals to have it easier. But if they keep making these tactical blunders, if they have another horrible match at the death, because look, I mean, Rinku Singh is not just one time, Yes, those 5 sixes of poor Yash Dayal will stand out, but he's had other, very impactful innings. The last match, Russell got out, but the way he found the gap was like, "Man, I'm here to do this, right?" So I just feel that, also for me, I had pretty much written off KKR after 5 matches. So to watch this team suddenly start to get it together and with that winning momentum,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it's KKR. Logically, I want to say Rajasthan Royals, but if KKR end up getting there ahead of them, it would not surprise me right now.
Kushan?
Yeah, I would like to put it up this way. If KKR with this kind of setup, if they qualify for the playoffs, it's a bonus. It will be a bonus for them. But in case if Rajasthan cannot qualify, they should be mighty disappointed because they had the team to qualify. KKR never looked like having the team to qualify. But if they still qualify, then I believe again you have to believe in Chandu Pandit's magic magic wand that he carries with him wherever he goes and coaches. That legend of Chandru Pandit will only grow in
Yeah.
stature.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've not spoken about Rinku Singh, guys. He has been, for me, the story of this IPL. In just the way, what makes, why do we all love watching this league? Because of these kind of stories. Rinku Singh's story is a wonderful story. And what is even better is that he's doing it now consistently, which stands out for me because when he scored those 5 6s against Gujarat Titans, he himself said that this is not going to happen again. And yes, it's very difficult for him to be able to repeat that. But what he's been doing consistently is that he's been winning matches, Jamie. He's been finishing matches for Kolkata Knight Riders. I feel like there is so much more confidence in how he's going about his game. Again, another interview that we watched, he's just a happy guy. He's in happy space and he's batting well. A lot of where KKR are right now is because of Rinku Singh.
No, absolutely. It's fantastic for him. It's fantastic for the system. If we were to rewind before the IPL started and you picked up Rinku Singh's player profile page, first class record average is outstanding. One day is good. T20, he was actually the poorest of his formats. If you were to go by his stats and his performances, right? He's shown glimpses before. What he's done this year is made it consistent, right?
Yeah.
Rahul Tewatia hit 5 6s off Sheldon Cottrell. It seemed like, wow, this guy, all the calls to bring him into the Indian team. He didn't get that. But unlike that, Rahul Tewatia, Rinku Singh has been doing it consistently. 48 not out, 52 not out. Yes, nothing can match 5 6s in a row. That's why that should be wrapped in cotton wool and kept on a very, very different, pedestal. But his consistency shows that he's in a good space.
Yeah.
Team is backing him and he's training, right? Rahul Tewatia has spoken about the specific way he trains. He's doing it. He's doing a fine job, but he's not getting the 40s because he doesn't have that kind of time left. But Rahul Tewatia is walking and getting you 12 off 3, 16 off 5. He's doing the job. But Rinku Singh, you can tell the promotion, batting with Russell. I mean, what that guy stands to learn, or has probably already learned from batting with Andre Russell, who at one time was this great KKR finisher. It's a great story. I just want to say, don't get into this whole buzz of isko Indian team mein dalo. Abhi nahi hai. Let him just focus on what he's doing. Players, of course, they all want to play for the country. I don't think there's a role for him in the Indian team right now. If it comes up next year, fine. But let's just not, we the media, social media fans, I've seen so many posts. Should he be there? Should Tilak Verma be there? Sabka time aayega. Let's just not get so carried away right now. I think, like Kushan said, KKR did not come into this IPL looking like they had anything going for them, especially with Shreyas Iyer ruled out. Rinku Singh has been their biggest bright spot. Let him play a bit longer. Let him just soak it in. Then all this talk of drafting him into India's team can come.
The thing that stands out for me, Kushan, is that if Andre Russell at the other end tries to run a single so that you get the strike or the last ball, then you must be doing something right when it comes to finishing games. And that's what happened in the last game, that Rinku Singh ended up winning for his team. And the pressure of it all. It's very easy to say that you can do it once. So he did it once and it was outstanding. People said that was one of the best finishes that they'd seen in the history of the IPL. But the pressure that comes with it on Rinku Singh to constantly do it, and he's been doing it well enough. So, it has to be applauded in the way he's gone about this season.
And I think there's got a lot to do with practice, with match simulation, with understanding his role and practicing accordingly. Like what kind of practice you do is also very important. Like Surya Kumar Yadav told us in Australia during the World T20 that if he gets out in the nets, he never bats again. On that particular day, he will never bat again if he
Acha.
gets out, because that's his match mode. The moment he gets out in the nets, he doesn't go in. So that is about that is that is how it is. That is how it is.
Okay, that's an interesting one, Jamie. You get out in the
Yeah.
nets, you don't want to go there because that's your match mode. I wonder if
And
other players do it.
I just hope that players are doing that because we've heard this, right? Especially from Virat Kohli's team when he and Shastri were there. They actually like the match simulation more than the nets. And I think players should have the freedom to do whatever works, right? Yes, a certain way of coaching, a certain set pattern has carried players for a long, long time. But if that's what gets Suryakumar Yadav into his best groove, and look at the way he's come back, right? I mean, that 83 of 35 balls, right? This is the kind of Suryakumar Yadav we were expecting to do things against, Australia. If it works for him, and if that works, hats off to him, man. You have to find your own things. If the results are working, then great.
So there you have it. There is Rajasthan Royals who actually, and I love the way Kushan put that, Jamie, that if Rajasthan Royals do not make it to the playoffs, they'll be disappointed. Whereas for Kolkata Knight
Absolutely.
Riders, they'll see this as a bonus. Though I do believe that getting into the second half, into at the business end, momentum makes a huge difference. Do you agree? The fact that you've lost, the pressure is going to be on Rajasthan Royals, whereas for KKR, they kind of know what they have to do now. They have that momentum. Does that make that? Will that make a difference? Both of these teams have 3 matches now.
They have 3. I think KKR have 2 at home, and the fact that they're now winning matches at home probably puts them in a slight advantage. Jaipur has not been a happy hunting ground for Rajasthan.
Yes.
For various reasons. So again, between the two, if KKR can somehow win this match, then maybe there's no looking back for them.
Okay. So Rajasthan Royals 51-49 is what Kushan said at the end of the show. Kushan, will you stand with that, or do you want to change that?
Yeah. No, I would like to believe, because this is like they have their backs to the wall. As Jamie said, we have lost 5 out of the last 6. So it cannot get worse. It can only get better from here. And they have the resources to get it better. Like Delhi Capitals, the team, it doesn't have the resources to make it better. But Rajasthan Royals do have that resource. They have at least the batting resource, the spin bowling resource to go to do it better, to do it in a better way, to win the match. They have that capability to beat this KKR team. So that is where I think that probably I will still not discount Rajasthan. And yes, I would also like to mention one thing, that this is probably one year where we'll again see the 4th team will sneak in. It will be on 14 points, because there's so much of a mid-table jam. All teams will not get 16. Like Gujarat are already on 16. I think CSK will get 16, and one more team probably will sneak through at 16. But the 4th team that will get in, it will not be 16. It will be 14.
I have a
It has
feeling
to be
this
14.
4th one will be decided on net run rate, as we've seen.
Yes, very
So,
much, very
yeah,
much, very much.
yeah.
There's a big possibility of that happening.
Jamie, what about
Because
you? Are you also saying it's Rajasthan Royals who have the advantage, who will win tonight, or do you want to go with Kolkata?
I will still go with Rajasthan for all the reasons that we've already discussed, and because they have that ability to bounce back. And last match, what did they do wrong? Just 2 overs, right? 217 something for 2. Butler 90 odd. Everything worked. It's just that giving the 19th over to Kuldeep, and then Sandeep Sharma had one bad match. Overall, I still feel that, especially because they know what it takes to get right.
Yeah.
Kolkata have been very, very hit or miss. Yes, something says that Kolkata is going to make it very, very tough for Rajasthan, but maybe not 51-49. But something says Rajasthan should bounce back today.
Okay, with that, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much, Kushan Sarkar, Jamie Alter, for joining us, both going with Rajasthan Royals. So despite me coming from Rajasthan, I'll just support Kolkata Knight Riders for today, just so that I can be, I can have, I can be the different one here. But thank you so much, gentlemen. That's it then on this special Kolkata Knight Riders versus Rajasthan Royals at the Eden Gardens. Kolkata are looking good. They have the momentum. They've been winning matches, but it's for Rajasthan Royals now to be able to bounce back. Can Sanju Samson and the Royals win against Kolkata Knight Riders tonight? That's the big question. News 9 Live is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest from the world of sports. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.